how do we find peace within relationships and out in the world? Because it's easy to find peace when you're, immersed in self-help books or, on yoga retreats or whatever it is. But, we have to like go out there in the world and deal with other people, right? So how do we find that?
And that's the beauty of this too, right? I always tell people, you don't know if you've transformed if you're sitting in a test tube, right? You've got to be in the situation, and then you start using the techniques that you learn. So when I coach people, I tell people my story was I had to get myself together in a carpool line, right? Because when you're waiting for little kids to come out of school and you feel like your whole world is falling apart, and you have to kind of gird yourself up and you go back to your practices. And so I think the number one way to practice what you're learning is through developing daily habits, right?
Mhm.
And habits are something that you can lean on. It's tangible, and you don't wait till you get into a crisis to say, "Okay, now I'm going to put this into practice." Right? You make it part of your day to day practice. One of them is listening. Right, a number one skill that a lot of us don't do. Right, we don't listen. It's not because we want to be rude. It's because we want to be prepared, and we want to seem it's some kind of way. There's something going on in us that says, I'm engaged if I can come back with a great answer really, really quickly. So while the other person is talking, we're formulating, right? We're thinking, okay, yeah, 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 okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. And we're getting this response together. But there's something beautiful that happens in the gaps, right? Which allows you just to breathe, to center yourself, right? And even if something has happened in that exchange, which triggers you in a negative way, you have that moment of just breath and self love. And through that self love, right, if we practice just slowing down and listening, through that self love, we're able to give that love. And say, I can see how you can see it that way. Something simple as that. And practicing that ongoing and on, even if you can't necessarily in that moment really see how they could see it that way, right? Just practicing that phrase. Ah, I can see how you can see it that way, right? Helps to improve relationships, helps to put the other person at ease. That little gap says, I'm listening. I'm not here planning my attack. So just habits, I think daily habits and learning little things that we put in our tool chest as we engage with other people.
I like that a lot. And I think also another way of saying exactly what you're saying is people want to feel seen and heard,
Yeah.
right? I'm reading this book on NLP right now, and it's talking about. I think they actually say that phrase that you were saying in there. It's like it's coming at someone with empathy and being like before you even respond, being like trying to see their point of view, right?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, it's
And
so good. Just taking that moment to acknowledge them. There's something that Maya Angelou said that people will remember, they may forget most of what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.